I've been brought up knowing Jesus my whole life. When I was about 4 years old, I accepted Jesus into my life, and I remember being this excited little kid that used to talk about God, and I used to pray for my friends, I used to tell them about Jesus. And by the time I reached class 10, I had turned into this completely rebellious kid. I ran away from home for about 4 days. My parents didn't know where I was. I grew up in Panchgani, which is a really small town, and I always felt like this person trapped in a cage, with my parents telling me what to do all the time. All I wanted to do was finish 10th standard and then come to Bombay to study. I got admissions in Xavier's, and when I came to Bombay, I finally felt like, wow, this is what freedom looks like. I found all this freedom and I had no idea how to control it. I was this new kid from a really small town in this big city, so I just felt this need to be accepted. I would want to do everything that they would do so that they would accept me, and that's kind of where it started going downhill. So I made a lot of friends in college. We all were like these trying to be cool 11th standard kids that just wanted to experiment. A few of my friends had a lot of older friends. They would get us into these different clubs all over Bombay. We would go like clubbing every night, and we would have these crazy parties. And slowly my friends introduced me to alcohol, and that's how I kind of started drinking. And the only reason to drink was to get drunk, to have fun, and just like get drunk and not know what you're doing, laugh and talk about what a great night we had. A year later, I started smoking. All this while, I knew it was not okay, I knew it was not right, but at the same time, I had found comfort in doing these things with my friends. I found acceptance, and it was completely my choice. Nobody forced me to do anything. A while later, my friends introduced me to drugs, and it just kept growing. I got into a relationship. This was how we lived: drugs, alcohol, smoking, parties. Started getting really dark and messed up and really, really dramatic. The only reason I quit drugs was because one day I overdosed, and it was one of the most terrifying, horrific experiences that I've ever had. That was the day I decided to quit drugs. I've been coming to COH since 2010, but for 4 years I didn't make any friends in church because I thought everyone was too holy for me. I had no expectations when I came for Soul Freedom Burning Ones in 2014. I didn't even really care to be there, to be honest. On the second day of Soul Freedom, that was the day where a brand new life for me started, and it's a day that I will cherish for the rest of my life. It felt as if like heaven just invaded my life. It was as if God was just standing right next to me. I was just crying and sobbing, and I had no idea what was happening to me. It was such a beautiful feeling. It felt like all my shame was gone. Everything that I was struggling with, it felt like I had been set free from it. I felt like innocent. I felt loved. I felt like a new person. The next day, Pastor Willie and Jaipal, they made an altar call for people to come for full-time ministry, and I was just sitting in my chair thinking, wow, that is so not for me. I remember kind of having an argument with God, so to speak, and I was telling God, you know what, I can't do this. This is not for me. Have you seen my life? It's terrible. Thanks for changing me, but I still can't do what you're asking me to do. And in that moment, I just felt God tell me, this is my plan for you. There was this time bomb inside of me that was just waiting to explode. And so I remember being one of the last people to just go up in front, and the minute I sat down on the floor, it was like the second time where God's presence just fell on me to a whole other level. I was just sobbing. I was like, wow, this is amazing, Lord. I just want to live for you and serve you for the rest of my life in whichever area he would lead me to, in whatever place he would take me. I just was so in love with God that I would do anything for him. After I came back from Soul Freedom, I was really excited, but I didn't know in what area God was going to use me. My friends were making these plans to go abroad and study, and they were getting jobs. I just decided to patiently wait on God to direct my steps, and in November, something really amazing started happening to me. God started reminding me of things when I was a little child. Like I would sit with my friend on a wall, we would take a guitar and we would take a Bible, and we would just open the Bible to a random word, and then we'd say, hey, let's write a song about it. God just reminded me about my love for music. When I was in 4th standard, my dad enrolled me for piano classes. Did 3 grades in Trinity. I remember somebody gifted me this music book which had all these hymns in it, and I would like spend so much of time trying to like make the song sound good. Over time, a fear started building up inside of me that I completely stopped singing. I completely stopped playing. In November, when God started bringing all these things back, I felt like Him tell me to start all over again, and I would be like, Lord, why this out of everything else? Like the thing that I'm most afraid of, you're making me come back to it. I just started spending so many hours studying stuff, learning, just going back to the basics. And in Jan 2015, I decided to talk to Sammy and Sana about it, and so I told them everything. It was probably one of the scariest conversations I've had. Since then, both of them have really been helping me, encouraging me, and mentoring me. It's amazing because in Soul Freedom 2015, exactly 1 year later, on the same day where I committed my life to serving God for full time, it was the same day that I played for the first time ever on a worship team. God's been really faithful through it all. I want you to know that all the time, effort and resources you've sown into Soul Freedom has not gone in vain. Over the years, many lives have been changed and transformed just like me. So I want to encourage you to please pray for Soul Freedom so that even this year, many more lives can be changed and impacted by God. So please continue to pray. Thank you so much.